Hi, I'm Will Perrone, and I'm going to show you how to wire up a aftermarket stereo into a 2011 4.2 SmartCar. So, I've already done the wiring here, and the stages that I've gone through to do this is, the first step is underneath the floor mat here on the passenger side is the battery, and you're going to need to disconnect the negative lead to the battery first. And then you'll see under here is the fuse box. I have some neons connected in there, but normally you're not going to see these extra wires under your fuse box. You're going to want to pull out fuse number 20 in here in the fuse box while the battery is disconnected. And then basically the next step is to pop this panel out, and this is basically connected in with the these little hooks in here, and it'll just pop out, and then there'll be screws in here that you need to remove, and then a panel will just come right out, and you can just pop this out like that, right? Once you get that removed, you'll see these wires in here. You might have to unconnect. They'll be like bolted in here, and you connect, strapped in there, and it'll disconnect that. And then this thick wire is the antenna. So the parts you're going to need from to get are this, the wire harness, and the antenna adapter. This. All of these can be gotten from Smart Madness, but none of them are really, except for the panel here, are really specific to smart cars. The antenna adapter is actually this one, which goes to Volkswagen, Audi, or generic European vehicles. The wire harness is this one, which is a Volkswagen wire harness for 1980 to 2005. And it'll actually on the back show you what the wiring should be, but don't follow this. This is very misleading because the smart car is not connected that way. So what I've also done here is connected my ScanGauge, and the cool thing about this is if you have a ScanGauge too, which will connect under here to your ECU, you can pull this wire under here through, and it'll just come right through like that. Just pull it right through, and then you can connect your ScanGauge into your dash. So anyway, the wiring, the antenna wire is pretty straightforward. You just can plug this in. The rest of these wires on the top of the harness, these are the speaker wires, all 4 speakers, and the connections are like this. This green one is the driver tweet. The white one is the driver door speaker. The gray one is the passenger door speaker, and the purple one on the end is the passenger tweeter. So all you need to do is get the manual for your aftermarket stereo and connect them up appropriately. These are 18 gauge butt connectors that I got from Radio Shack, which you can just crimp them together. Very easy. Now there's really, other than the speakers, there's only 3 other wires you need to worry about. On the opposite side, it is the constant on power, switched ignition, and grounding wires. And the grounding wire from your stereo may need to just be cut off, because sometimes they come with these little things that connect to like a grounding bolt or something. So just cut it off and connect it to this black one under here. That's the grounding wire. The other one, this yellow wire, is the switched ignition, and you'll see here that the yellow wire connects to the red wire in my radio, not the yellow wire, because the red wire is the switch ignition and the radio, and vice versa. The red wire under here in the wire harness is the constant on, and it connects to the yellow wire, constant on, in my radio, although your radio may be different. The rest of these wires that come with this harness are not really necessary, and I recommend just kind of clamping them off, you know, so that you don't get like any static charge or anything like that. And that's all there is to it. Now that you have your radio all wired up, all you need to do is mount it back in here with the harness and pop it into this plate. Optionally, if you want to install a ScanGauge, you'll have to sand the other side a little bit down because it is just a smidgen too large. But with just a little bit of sanding, you can make it fit in the bottom part of this thing. And that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and happy modding.